All right, so at this time, it is 7:03 p.m. and we will open up the May 27th, 2021 meeting of the Middleton Zoning Board of Appeals. There are, looks like we have about 5 items on the agenda plus the minutes from last meeting. Did everyone have a chance to review the minutes from last meeting?
Yep.
And were there any questions, concerns, edits that they had? Hearing none, I will accept any motions.
Move to accept the minutes.
So moved. Is there a second?
I'll second.
And a vote. Make sure you're unmuted.
Rich?
Yes.
Ann?
Yes.
Carolyn?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
I'll vote yes.
All right, the first item on the agenda, I see Adam is here. Looks like I'm going to promote him to a panelist. Give him a minute to come back. Hey, Adam, you hear us all right?
Yeah, I'm here now. Thank you.
Great. All right, and so we'll do it just like we do every month. We'll open up the legal notice. We'll have a presentation by the applicant, which is you. We'll do some correspondence, any from the town departments, and report from staff, which she's not here tonight, but if there's anything that's pertinent that she has in the staff report, we'll go over that, and then we'll open it up to any other testimony from anyone from the public, whether for or against. We'll go from there and then open it up to the board for discussion.
Great.
Madam Clerk, can you read the public notice, please?
Let's see. The Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing 7 p.m. on May 27th on the application of Adam Spang on the behalf of Ativo Fitness LLC for a special permit to authorize a fitness training facility at 177 North Main Street, Building 300, Unit 4, found on Assessor's Map 17A, Parcel 51301. Plans on file at the Town Clerk's office.
Thank you. Do you want to do the comments now, or should we wait till after the applicant?
Usually we wait till after the applicant.
All right. Mr.
Says his
Spang,
piece, and then we'll read.
Mr. Spang, you are up.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'm here with my my wife, Caroline. Basically, we're super excited to be able to take our concept for what gyms, in 2021 need to look like, which is providing semi-private, small group training in the functional fitness style, as well as offering nutrition coaching services and also guidance in other areas important to health, such as recovery, hydration, and that all wraps into our overall methodology of basically a holistic approach, meeting their clients where they are in their fitness journey, because everyone starts from a different place. So my background has been in the fitness industry for over a decade now, coming from CrossFit through Orange Theory, and I've been working with a lot of people out of my home gym. And so we've sort of proven the concept there with my existing clients, and it's sort of ready to take that step into a little bit more space. And so that's where the 177 works really well for us. So I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, now can we do the department comments?
I think we can. All right, from, let's see, Middleton Electric Light, no conflict. From Kristen Kent, Concom, no comment. I'm gonna scroll down. From the fire department, no issue. From the Board of Health, property owner will need to ensure septic system has capacity for proposed use. Owner will be requested to submit a septic system design flow sheet by the engineer. And from Paul Goodwin, who is all set on their end.
Great, thank you, Madam Clerk.
Yep.
Is there anyone else here to speak in favor or opposition? Hearing none, I'll open up for board discussion.
Shall I
Can you,
start?
can you bring up the, can you bring up the map, Craig, of where it is just before we get going here? Like a little more, yeah, something like that. Where, off of North Main Street, where,
Yeah.
where is that?
It's at the, like, it's right next to the Salem Metal and Regal Fabrics.
Oh, up on the hill?
Mhm.
Yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, okay, yeah. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I'm ready for a couple of things.
Yes, sir.
All right. First of all, Adam, congratulations on this. I think it's a great step. It's something that I would use. I think that people are looking for these kinds of things. And I think it's a great location. I did some quick measurements on the unit. It's about 1,500 square feet. Is that about right?
Yep. Correct, 1,500.
Okay. Again, I'm not opposed to the special permit, but I do, just for my fellow board members and anyone else that's listening, this gets back to the whole issue of the property in general. That we had new buildings up there. I asked about a traffic study. And again, Adam, this is not necessarily directed at you, but it certainly needs to be discussed. So for example, recently the board may recall, I asked if there was ever a traffic study done for the property up there. And they said, well, no, it's warehouse. It doesn't generate a lot of traffic. We don't need we didn't do a traffic study. And it was a couple 100,000 square feet up there. Well, I looked at the land use codes in the ITE manual, and a warehouse, land use code 150 versus a fitness center, land use code 492. And the difference is quite remarkable. Now, again, this is only 1,500 square feet. You're going to generate 2 trips in the AM and you're going to generate 5 trips in the PM. It's not a big deal. That's not what I'm talking about. However, what is notable is that a fitness center, for example, generates 4.3 times more traffic than a warehouse use in the AM. And if we think that's bad, a fitness center generates 10.7 times more traffic in the PM. My point of saying this is when the local engineers come in and the local legal counsels come in and they tell us not to worry about stuff, and then we come back and we piecemeal these projects. And Adam, I wish you all the success. Maybe you come in and you have a 40,000 square foot fitness center, which would generate quite a bit of traffic, right? 10 times more. I just think we need to be mindful of this when applicants are before us. And again, Adam, this has nothing to do with really your project directly, but it has to do with developments such as this, where we're told not to worry about traffic, only when they come back later looking for special permits to put in uses other than what was originally proposed, in this case, a warehouse. That's all I wanted to say. Congratulations on this. I wish you much success.
Thank you.
Any other board members have any questions or comments?
What's the hours of operation going to be?
I believe so. The whole office park itself is a 24/7 facility. Granted, we're not going to be a 24/7 fitness place, but we're going to have our general morning classes at industry standard times, as well as in the evening classes, wrapping up no later than 7 p.m. in the evening.
Okay, and what about the Board of Health concern of the septic system?
Is that addressed to me?
Yeah,
And I'm sorry, what again was the concern?
I think the Board of Health had some concern about, can you bring that up again, Craig?
The septic system?
System design flow by the engineer.
Okay.
They're looking for that.
And that will be from the owner of the property, I believe.
That's what it says.
Yeah, so that would be from the property management, correct? I would be able to retrieve that from them.
Yeah, is there something about that farther down the application? Did I see something from, what's his name? The guy who owns it?
I think
I
so.
saw his name pop up.
Yeah,
right there.
it just
Yeah,
said that
right.
he was okay with
Oh, okay,
pursuing a special permit.
yeah.
I think what Ann's getting at is regarding the septic, there's no floor plan, I don't think. So are there showers, or is it just
No, it's just the existing single handicapped accessible bathroom.
Okay,
It's
so
just-
there's
it's
no
just the
showers
one.
going in?
No showers, and it's only going to be they're really small classes, and so it's not going to be used like crazy. We get used a couple times per hour probably.
Okay. So that's something that I guess Brent McKinley can get for us, and just to make sure that there's no issues with overuse.
Address the board for 1 minute regarding the,
Please.
to answer the question on the septic. What Derek is looking for is for the engineer to calculate the flow rate for the new proposed use. So whether the applicant pays for it and has it done, or the property owner pays for it and has it done, that's between them, but that's going to have to be submitted prior to occupancy. And then as far as the number of bathrooms and that kind of things, the applicant's already been told he's going to have to submit a code review for us, because this building was designed as an S use group under the building code. And now we are most likely, I haven't seen a full plan yet, but most likely we're going to an A use group that has significant changes. So he's going to be required to submit a code review on the change of use to our office, and that'll address the number of fixtures, whether or not additional bathrooms are required, and that kind of thing.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you, Scott. Any other questions or concerns?
Are there any concerns? I don't know. Parking? Is there ample parking? Has that been discussed?
Yes, there's ample parking directly across the roadway from the entryway to the door.
Yep.
So we have the 2 designated spots against the building, and then all the spots right on the other side of the roadway there are for general use.
Craig, can you point out on that plan where that
Sorry.
is?
Right here. Right around here. You see my mouse
Is that
in the
right?
middle? That's
Is that it, Adam?
building
Yep,
300 unit
that's the
4,
one.
right?
So it's about, like 3, it's number 4. So it's like 3/4 in from the left.
It's shown on the plan up above.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah,
So
so
I-
number 4, and if you look to the left of number 4 is where the roadway is, and our 2 parking spots are right against the building, and then the other general ones across the street, across the roadway.
So that structure there is what you're seeing here as number 300.
Correct. Yeah.
Any other board discussion? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion. I will call for a motion to accept findings under section 9.4.2 that the proposed use serves a community need by providing a unique and additional service to those currently provided within the town. The traffic and pedestrian flow and safety has been addressed prior to this in previous site reviews. The adequacy of utilities and public services will be reviewed by the building commissioner and health department to ensure there is compliance with the revised change. The proposed use is consistent with the neighborhood character, being an industrial park with heavy traffic. The impacts on the natural environment will be minimized by the review through the building department and health department. And this will also provide a potential economic and fiscal impact to the town by increasing the tax base by bringing in a new and viable business. Do I have a motion to accept those findings?
I will make that motion.
Do I have a second
I'll second.
and a vote?
Carolyn?
Yes.
Carolyn, you're muted. Okay. Ann?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes.
Based on those findings, I'll call for a motion to issue the special permit under section 9.4.2. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Rich moved it. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
And a vote?
Carolyn?
Yes.
Anne,
Yes.
Rich,
Yes.
Greg.
Yes, excellent. I missed
Everybody
that.
said yes. Everybody said yes. Yeah.
In that case, best of luck to you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Take it easy.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is going to be 59 South Main Street. It's Middleton Living LLC. They are seeking a special permit for earth removal. Madam Clerk, if you would, please.
You bet. Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing at 7 p.m. on May 27th. Application of Middleton Living LLC for a special permit to authorize the removal of approximately 3,000 cubic yards of excess earth material at 59 South Main Street, property found on Assessor's Map 25, parcel 59A and 63, plans on file with the town clerk.
Is anyone here to speak in favor of the application? If you can
I'm
just
here.
raise. Oh, Paul, there you go.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name is Paul DiBiase, and I am the manager of Middleton Living LLC, the developing entity of Blue Haven, which we're very excited about. It is a over 55 community on Main Street, and we're well underway with construction, and we're very excited about the product. We had it redesigned slightly, and the response has been great. And I think they actually paved. I'm not in town, but I believe that they paved there today, so we're moving right along. The site itself is for general fill is a balanced site. However, it does have a surplus of topsoil, and we have estimated the superintendent, the construction superintendent, and the contractor have estimated approximately 3,000 yards. That probably is a little high, but nevertheless, we have some excess topsoil generated from the site. I want to let the board know that in our estimates, we did figure a 8-inch layer of topsoil to be restored in the loam and the grass and planting areas instead of the 4-inch general lift. We're actually going to double that and put an 8-inch lift in so we can keep more of it on site. But however, I think there is going to be a surplus even after we have accomplished that, and we are looking to obtain a special permit to offload and move some of this material off-site.
Thank you, sir. Madam Clerk, could you read the department comments, please?
Fair enough. Middleton Electric Light has no problem with it. Kristen Kent, Concom, no comment. Fire department's fine. All set on the end of Mr. Goodwin. DPW.
Got it. Is there anybody else from the public that would like to comment?
Yes, can you hear me? For the record, my name is John Guevara. I'm an attorney in Salem, Massachusetts, and I'm here with Rebecca Martin and Judy Pike, who are they're the personal representatives for the estate of who owns 61 South Main Street, the neighboring parcel. Our concern is not so much with the removal of what they're removing, but more the manner in which they're removing it, because they've, in a number of instances, already exceeded the. They're going onto our property basically and digging up with their trucks, and that's what we're concerned about.
May I, Mr. Chairman?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Just so I understand, is it the house that we kind of surround out on 114?
Yeah.
Is that the house?
Correct.
Okay. And your concern is digging up your property?
The trucks have been driving over the property and beyond. Yes, there's an easement that's granted to you guys, but you guys are exceeding it and that you're cutting the property. And in fact, you've driven behind the house directly and over areas that's not owned by you guys or part of the easement that you guys have. And that's what we're concerned about.
Well, if there was anybody entering your property, I apologize ahead of time. I don't know why that we would be doing that. We did take down the old broken down picket fence and replaced it with a brand new vinyl fence. The workers may have been on your property to do that.
This was before they did the fence.
Okay. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know that. I don't have any knowledge of that. I would certainly tell you that I will pay more attention to what's happening there and make sure that nobody enters your property. I mean, the boundary lines are clearly marked. We're accessing the property through a construction access road that has an easement.
We're aware of that. We're not disputing that in the slightest, but when they were putting in and before they put the actual fence in, the trucks were driving on the back of the property, in fact, over buried structures that are on our property and among other things, and then personal pet graves as well. So that's, I think, the concern.
I'm awful sorry. I don't have any personal knowledge of that, and I apologize.
I don't expect you to. So.
Yeah, I can guarantee you now that it's brought to our attention because, you know, I can gladly exchange information with you after this meeting, and you can call me directly on my cell phone. If there are any more concerns, to that effect, I'd be happy to talk to you directly about it and to make sure it doesn't happen again.
That would be great.
Mr. Chairman, can I address Mr. DiBiase in the abutter?
Please. Yes, please.
Paul, would it be possible that you guys could, I know you have your property line staked, but along the truck access road, do something along the lines of a snow fence or maybe something a little more pleasing to the eye, so you get a rogue truck driver in there who's not familiar with the site, they don't drive on the abutter's property?
Sure, we can do that. We can do that. Define the driveway better, you mean?
Just a little better, a few more stakes, maybe a little snow fence or something, and
okay. Yeah, if that's acceptable.
That works for us, certainly.
All right.
We could certainly do that.
Thank you, Paul.
You're welcome.
Did any of the board members have any questions? We kind of went right into it, so.
Yeah. Sorry, Ann, go ahead. I'll yield.
Okay. Thanks, Rick. I was talking to Pike Messenger. There are some concerns about the depth of the topsoil of the grass, and I think you are on the right track. In his estimation, he was on the Concom for a long time too. You really need at least a good 8 inches, if not more, of topsoil for the grass for water conservation purposes. And there's a long history in town of people taking topsoil out of town and selling it for profit, and it's been an ongoing issue. So we're a little leery about this. And so I think, you know, he's concerned, as are the people who have watched topsoil get trucked out of town on a regular basis, that it's real important that at least 8 to 10 inches be on those lawn surfaces as well as under the plantings. Just so you know, he'll be watching, I'm sure, with his ruler.
Thanks, Ann. Any other board questions, concerns, please?
I have a couple of questions. Paul, just first of all, I mirror Ann's comments as well. I think 8 inches as a minimum. That was actually on my thing, like what was the planting depth? So I'm glad you already brought that up. That's good. You say you have about 3,000 yards. Do you know what kind of equipment you're going to be using? Are you using 10-wheel dumps? Are you using triaxles? Are you using trailer dumps? What are you using? Do you know?
The majority of the trucking will be triaxles.
Okay, so with 3,000 yards, that's probably going to be about 200 truckloads or 400 trucks. You know, 200 in, 200 out. When do you plan? Is the plan to do everything and get this material off site as soon as possible? Is it going to be staggered? How do you plan on doing it?
Well, it makes more sense for us as developers to get a plan in place to offload it in its entirety, and let it be gone and not present a problem anymore. But it's kind of difficult to get rid of topsoil, believe it or not. We'll probably have to consult with what they call a dirt broker to see if we can get somebody that would commit to taking it all at once. There are local people like Woods Trucking who are in Peabody who will take it. So we'll be contacting them as well. There's a local Middleton contractor that's already reached out to us who may be interested in taking some of it and keeping it in Middleton. But again, it's probably a high estimate. It could be a couple thousand yards. It's really hard because once you screen the loom, there's a lot of what we call tailings, which are not part of a loom product. They're the byproduct. It's what makes up loom. It's the rock. It's the wood and all that. So that there is a different product that could actually get. The wood would be separated, but the rock would be used as general fill on the site in the backyard. So we plan to use that material as much as we can. So it's hard to say how much after we screen it, what would be left over. So that's why we think it's probably a high number.
The magic numbers, a triaxle will hold about 15 yards. So I'm just trying to do the math in terms of.
Triaxle is more like 20 yards.
Well, again, depending upon how it's loaded, right?
Yeah.
But just a couple other things. So we have another filing tonight with a similar request. We have another special permit request for removing material down the street. It's at the 99 site, and they submitted a very detailed plan of what they were going to do, which talked about the number of vehicles, when they were going to be there. It talked about what route they were going to take. They're going to leave the site. They're going to go a particular direction. It talked extensively about cleanup, things like that. So with that amount of trucks and coming in and out of the site, and presuming it's a dry condition, which is okay, but presuming it's not dry, obviously the concern is tracking material off the site down 114 or wherever else the trucks are going to go. The other filing that is coming up in a little bit talks about tracking pads and so on and so forth to ensure that we don't have material all over the place. They're talking about even doing a power sweep to ensure that there's no mess all over town for removing this material. So have you thought anything about that, and what's your plan to control the spread of this material all over town as you're trying to get rid of it?
So we currently have a plan in place on site now that has we have a track pad. We also brought in an extensive amount of recycled asphalt and put it down in the roadway areas of the site to minimize the dust and to minimize any tracking of dirt off site. We've had many trucks come in the site already. We're well underway there. The majority of the infrastructure is completed, and we've got 4 or 5 buildings that are up now. And so there's been quite a bit of material brought in to support the activities. And we have, to my knowledge, have no complaints of any tracking on 114. So the stability in what we have in place is really working well. We will continue to monitor that. We do have a watering truck on site, dedicated for the site. And we do have street sweeping ability readily available in both the contractor's yard and in my yard. So, I could certainly supplement the application with a plan once I understand where it's going, and maybe give you a little more detail. I'd be happy to do that.
Okay.
I just don't know where it's going at this time, and quite frankly, we haven't even given it any thought, because without a permit, I don't know what I would, why I would even waste any of my energy on it. So we're hoping.
One other question, Paul. There's the house that's there that I guess was just talked about a minute ago. There's a driveway to the left if you're facing the house and the property, and it looks like a new access to the right. I'm presuming that's going to be the main access for the project. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. Is that access the one you'll be using for this? Is that ready to go? Is there a permit in place from DOT and all that?
Yeah, that's a good question. We do have all our permits in place. The binder course has been installed. All the work for curbing, well, actually not all the curbing has been done, but majority of the work on 114 has been completed. However, the roadway surface that was approved for this project is called porous pavement. It's not like regular pavement. It's a different type of material where it allows water to permeate through it. And that's the way this project was designed to handle. This project in a few words has been designed to handle its own drainage. So with that, this pervious pavement was part of the planned infrastructure for the project. The difficulty with porous pavement is that it is not made for construction equipment and the construction heavy trucking. This road will be private. It's not. It won't be a public way for the town of Middleton to maintain. This whole project, it will be private, and we have to maintain the integrity of this porous pavement throughout the life of the construction of the project. And in order to do that, we have to keep all the construction equipment off the pavement. It has to be swept and maintained periodically so it doesn't clog. And the intent for this project was to utilize the construction entrance throughout the entire build out of this project.
Okay. So it sounds like you'd be using the other driveway.
Correct.
Okay. All right. So again, I think that I'm one member here of several on the board, but I think it would be important, at least for me, to once you have an idea of what you're doing, to see exactly what this plan is going to be. Whether it's 100 trucks or 200 trucks, it's a large volume of equipment.
It is, yeah, no question about it.
And it's going to be coming in and out. My thing is, we don't want to have the neighbors have to deal with dust and mud and all this other stuff all over the road.
Understandable.
So, and I know you want to be a good neighbor as well.
Sure,
so,
absolutely.
I would want to see that before things start.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we can certainly provide that.
All right, Mr. Chairman, I'm good for the moment.
Can you summarize what you want required as conditions?
Me? Oh, sure. Yeah, I can use this, that the area would be swept on a regular basis when necessary. And that could be either by the Public Works Department or the building inspector, whoever thinks the road is a mess and needs to be swept up. That the track pads be used as needed and cleaned off when needed, so that we're not tracking material out. That we'll see, we don't know where it's going, but a route be designated. The one that's going to be at the 99 was pretty obvious. Obviously, they're not going to go on River Street because there's a truck exclusion there, but you folks have access to state highway, so I don't think that really applies. But this is more so just when you're doing it. One other thing I would say too is just the hours of operation. We know that 114 has become a traffic nightmare, and again, I think introducing streams of heavy trucking during the peak hours of the day when traffic is the heaviest could be problematic. I'm not necessarily saying that we would restrict that, but we'd like the option to say, hey, look, you know what? You guys are pulling in and out of there between 7 and 9 o'clock in the morning, and people can't get to work because the trucks are in the way. I don't know if that would be the case. So, Mr. Chairman, I'm not quite sure how we would condition that. But you know, that intersection right at Town Hall is pretty tough to deal with, as you know, Paul. You've been there.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have any thoughts on what you.
Yeah, if I could make a suggestion, we could actually even do this if the board feels that this would be a better way to tackle this request. We could do it in phases. So it wouldn't be so impactful, you know, all at once. I'd be happy to entertain that. I mean, I think we could work around that. I think we could work around a schedule like that with whoever we're going to be dealing with to take out, you know, in the next quarter, take out, you know, 50 loads, and then before the end of the year, another 50 loads. You know, I'd have to, again, once I find out where it's going, I can probably come up with something.
Okay. Would you be okay, you know, with between 9 and 3? You can operate between 9 and 3. We just don't want trucks out there between 7 and 9 or after
Sure.
3.
Yeah, I think that's
okay? Then I'm
that's
good.
reasonable.
That's, I'm good. Yep. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm good, Craig.
Thank you, guys. So, Paul, just so I'm not putting words in your mouth, so the hours of operation for any removal of the material will be between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
we just clarify that that is only for material leaving town.
Yes, that's all. That is the only thing we are able to regulate.
Yep, he doesn't need a permit for it to go in town.
If you're dropping it off across town, we cannot touch that. But
Excellent.
any material that's actually leaving town, so far, the first restriction is going to be, it has to be between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. Do any of the board members have any questions? So the location of the property is obviously very convenient for this specific kind of special permit. I mean, essentially you got 114 and you got 62 and that's it, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
From the site to out of town, any material that's leaving town can go on 114 or Route 62 only. That makes sense, Paul?
Yes, you can. That could be a restriction or a requirement. Yes.
All right. In that case, anything else the other board members wanted to add, other than the cleaning materials? But I think I can work through that. So I will make a motion that the board grant a special permit under section 6.2 for the removal of earth removal from the town boundaries, from within the town boundaries. This special permit will be conditioned upon the following: that the special permit shall be effective for a period of 12 months. In the event the petitioner has not completed the removal of all excess materials before the expiration hereof, the petitioner will be required to appear before the board to request an extension. The time period during which the petitioner shall be permitted to remove the excess materials is Monday through Saturday inclusive, beginning at 9 a.m. and extending until 3 p.m. Those trucks will only operate on routes 114 and Route 62 during those hours. In addition, the petitioner shall employ various dust control measures, including but not limited to watering down dirt before loading the trucks, further reducing the amount of dust generated in the loading and unloading. Petitioner shall use reasonable efforts to ensure that no debris from the earth removal operation will make its way onto any abutting public ways or any abutting properties. In the event that any material makes its way off the property, the petitioner shall immediately clean all debris and or runoff by street sweeping or other cleaning activities as may be required to remedy the situation.
So moved.
And do I have a second?
I'll second. Took me a minute to unmute.
You have to have a quick trigger finger on the mute button.
Before we jump, I do see John has his hand up, so I'm going to give him an opportunity just to speak one more time. John?
Yes, we just wanted to ask if they could possibly add to this the delineation of where the easement is so that the trucks don't go onto our property.
Yes. And
Yes.
what language would you like to see that would provide the proper barriers for that location?
Just something basic that the construction driveway is staked out. I mean, I don't know if we want to look at snow fence out there for the next 12 months, but maybe staked every 12 feet or something like that.
Can I make a suggestion, Scott?
Yes,
How about a silt fence?
even better.
Perfect.
Yeah.
The final condition being that there will be silt fence installed along all ways traveled by trucks leaving the property. So if they're going the main road, it's all going to stay on the construction road leaving the property, right?
Right, leaving the property.
Right.
So moved again.
So just to clarify, that silt fence will run along the access road only, not along the main road.
Correct.
Paul or Rich, so moved
Yes,
again.
Yep, so moved.
Second,
Second.
and a vote, please.
Okay, Carolyn,
Yes.
Ann,
Yes.
Rich,
Yes.
Craig,
Yes, please.
and I'll vote yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Good luck.
Thank you.
And don't forget to connect with your neighbor.
Yes, I will.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda, it's going to be, 18 Hilldale, application number 211119.
Okay. Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing 7 p.m. May 27, 2021 on the application of Erickson Custom Homes for a special permit to authorize the demolition and reconstruction of a legally existing non-conforming structure at 18 Hilldale Ave, property found on Assessor's Map 32, parcel 27, plans on file with the town clerk.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Is there anyone here to speak in favor of the application?
Good evening, Jill Mann here on behalf of Arison Home Builders. Nick Hansis is the principal. Mr. Hansis is in the process of buying the property located at 18 Hilldale Avenue. We're pretty familiar with this area since we just actually had a permit last month that was granted for another property owner in the area that was also seeking to renovate and or revise a home that was located on Hilldale. This particular property is located just down the street at 18 Hilldale. And if you wanted, I do have a picture of the home, Mr. Hartwell, when we're ready. If you prefer not to have me share a screen and you want to review, that's fine as well. I did know that there was one comment from Ms. Kent from the Conservation Commission, and that was about it. But I didn't get the full file from Katrina before she had left. So I'm uncertain if I'm correct.
That is, yeah, I believe that's the only comment that came back. It's up on the screen.
Okay. So we will be compliant with stormwater management bylaw when we pull the building permit. We'll submit I think it's a simple application because it's a small home. The proposal is going to be to partially raise the structure. If we can keep the foundation intact, we will. This particular project is not going to disturb the foundation, so it'll be located in the same exact area. And then the garage is staying. This is simply going to be to modernize the house. It's a single story home. I don't know, do you actually have a picture of that? I don't remember if I sent that to Ms. O'Leary or not.
Let's see.
Yeah, it's in the package.
It is, okay. So if you want, I can grab it too, but yeah, there we go. The reason I add all these plans is because I always want to demonstrate to you that it's, oh, there we go. That's the existing home. I always want to demonstrate to you that it really is legally existing non-conforming lot and that it had never been joined with any other properties. And that's why you see all of those other documents in the list that you'd run through. But here is a vision of the home that we're seeking to basically raise and reconstruct. It'll be a full 2-story structure now instead of a single-story structure. So because we add the top, we are required to come back to the board to demonstrate that, this addition doesn't further increase in encroachment. It doesn't further burden the property. And again, since we're on the same footprint, we would respectfully suggest that that is actually the case. If we could, Mr. Hartwell,
somewhere to go.
There is a full set of architectural plans. I had submitted, okay, this is the old set. So, oh no, this is the right set. I apologize. I can't see it that well. I'm blind in addition to everything else. So you can see how they added the second story. It's going to be a very attractive home. Again, the location of the home on Hilldale is not changing. The garage, he's not raising at all. He simply is going to take off all of the exterior framing and then just put siding on to match the home. It did require a new septic system approval, and that was submitted to Mr. Fullerton, and we did receive that approval. It's going to remain a 2-bedroom. It's a 2-bedroom septic system. It's a 2-bedroom home, as is the current. And again, it's just simply the continued renovation of Hilldale Avenue. The project will most certainly protect the environment in terms of it needs now to have a compliant Title V septic system, which it will. It needs a brand new stormwater system, so it's going to control runoff, which protects the environment. It'll have a brand new home that will comply with all current building codes, which clearly that older home does not. It'll be HERS rated, so it'll be energy efficient. In addition to that, it does improve the property values of the homes around it. As we continue to revitalize the neighborhood, we are actually bringing up the property values of the homes around us and making them more valuable. In addition to those types of issues, this particular home is going to just basically take down a structure that really is just in very, very, very poor condition. And those are really the reasons why we're seeking the special permit. And I would ask that this board consider granting that to Artisan this evening. And if you have any questions, please. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Attorney Mann. Is there anyone else here to speak in favor of the application? Seeing none. Madam Clerk, could you read the department comments for 18 Hilldale, please?
Sure enough. Middleton Electric Light, no problem. From the Conscom, the new home at 18 Hilldale Ave must comply with stormwater management bylaw. Scroll down. Oh, scroll. Fire department has no issue, and DPW is fine.
Is there any other comments or questions from any members of the public? Seeing none, I will open it up to board discussion.
Chairman, just 2 quick questions. One is, what's the lot size?
It's 11,000. I apologize. I have to look. 11,000.
Right on the screen.
Yeah, I can't see.
11,094.
I
Oh, all
can't
right.
read that
I see it.
either.
Oh. I'm using the same glasses as Attorney Mann's using.
Oh, I have them on though, and I don't understand, Mr. Benevento. I still can't see.
And the only other question, are there going to be new service connections that need to be tied out into the street, like for water or anything else? Or are all of those already accessing the existing property and therefore there's no excavation in the street?
I'm not aware of there being any excavation in the street. There's a well currently, and I believe we have to continue because I don't think there's water down there. So I believe, yes, there is all the services.
The well is right where my mouse is, and the new septic system is right here at the bottom.
Okay,
Yeah,
so there are no service connections required.
No,
There's no water in Hilldale.
Okay, that's all I have.
Rick?
Yes.
I thought you might want to ask your questions about taking out demolition material in trucks.
Oh, yeah, that is. Are they going to have a dumpster there and just like load everything into a dumpster and then take it away?
Yes,
Okay, and the dumpster will be located on the property, not in the roadway, obviously, right?
absolutely.
Okay. All right, long as it's going to be taken, contained into in a dumpster. If it's there at night, I would recommend that it's covered. Well, actually, no, I'm thinking of something else. That's fine. It's because it's just construction debris, right?
Yeah, like the wood from the home. And honestly, you saw that house. I think it's going to be pretty quick.
Yeah, I saw. I actually went on Google Street View and looked at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ann.
Any other questions or comments from the board? Hearing none, seeing none. I mean, the big one for me is not changing the footprint. I mean, you're not, extending the nonconformity any more than it already is, where everything's self-contained on the property too. Yeah, I will propose that the board make the following findings. That the proposal will improve the aesthetics and increase the value of the property that will result in a positive fiscal impact for the town and a benefit to all the neighboring properties. By approving this proposal, the board will encourage neighboring property owners to renovate and maintain their properties accordingly. The proposal will require a building permit and oversight by the various town departments, which will ensure that there are no negative impacts on the natural environment. The proposal includes specifically the stormwater management. The proposal includes a new on-site septic system and new stormwater management system that will comply with all the local, state, and federal policies and regulations. The proposal will not increase the impact on increase or have any additional impact on the traffic. The proposal will not alter the width of the existing traveled way. The proposal will not create any new non-conformities. It will be maintaining its current footprint. And the proposal will not involve any increase in the use of the home, which will remain a 2-bedroom home. And the proposed home is also consonant with the residential character of the surrounding neighborhood. Do I have a motion to accept those findings?
So moved.
And a second.
I'll second it.
And a vote, please.
Carolyn,
Yes.
Ann,
Yes.
Rich,
Yes.
Craig,
Yes.
and I'll vote yes.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, I will call for a motion to accept, to grant the relief requested under sections 3.3.5 and 9.4 of the bylaws to grant the special permit. Is there a motion?
So moved.
And a second.
I'll second it.
And a vote?
Carolyn,
Yes.
Ann,
Yes.
Rich,
Yes.
Craig,
Yes.
and I'll vote yes.
And just as a reminder that the general conditions are always included in the board's decisions.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. I appreciate everybody's time this evening. Enjoy the night. See you next month, probably.
Thank you, Attorney Mann.
Take care. Good night.
The next item on the agenda tonight is 245 South Main Street. They're also seeking a special permit for earth removal. This is application number 21-1118. Madam Clerk, would you please read the public hearing notice?
Sure enough, Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing 7 p.m. May 27th, 2021 on the application of Todd Champlain Excavating for a special permit to authorize the removal of excess earth material at 245 South Main Street. Property can be found at Assessor's Map 33, Parcel 19E and 22. Plans on file with the town clerk.
Is there anyone here to speak in favor of the applicant? I see Mr. Champlain is here. Sir, you're unmuted.
Hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Apologize. So is am I okay to speak?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
So I'm here to request permission for all the surplus material off the side of 245 Main Street. I am the civil contractor representing the project. Basically, there's an abundance of just general fill that's on the site from old septic system material that is just not suitable to support parking lot and things like that. There's stuff around the retaining wall areas, all per the approved plan. So naturally we need to remove it. I've looked for places around town to try to dispose of it. It's not always convenient. when we need to move it, that somebody's willing to take material. We do have sources obviously outside of town looking to move it in that direction, just to keep things flowing. Obviously, I believe everybody has seen my narrative that would state the work hours, the type of trucks, the amount of trucks, the duration of time. I did ask for a 6 to 8 month time period, just because obviously I'm not sure. There's been some delays in the project, and I don't want people to think that, it's because of me, because obviously it all comes down to how the process rolls. Other than that, we really want to make sure that we maintain the place. We want it to look clean. We want it to be clean. We know it's a sensitive area. We know the trucks are not allowed down River Street. We have no problem making sure that, the signage in place, if that's needed or requested, as well as the tracking pad, the sweeping. It's very important. I think we're going to find that I've already noticed that the dust has started to kick up. We're going to control that. We can use water. We can use calcium, mix it in the water. So we have means and measures to do it. I'm a local, I'm from my business out of Middleton. I live in Middleton, born and raised here. So, I want it to look just as good as everybody else. That's kind of the long and short of it.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else here to speak in favor? Seeing none, Madam Clerk,
Yes.
could you please read the correspondence?
Sure enough. Electric light has no conflicts. Nothing from the Concom, nothing from the fire department, and
Nothing else.
nothing from the DPW. Yeah, we're good.
Is there anyone else from the public that would like to speak in favor or opposition? Seeing none, I'll open it up for board discussion.
Shocker, I have a few.
Rock and roll.
First and foremost, Todd, I want to commend you on your narrative. And when it comes time for conditions, I would motion, Mr. Chairman, that we include everything in the narrative as part of the conditions. But I did have a couple of quick questions. By the way, I used to work for Middlesex, Todd, if you know them, heavy highway. Yep. So
Yep.
I was interested in reading your narrative, and like I said, I thought you did a great job with that. So
Thank you very much.
yeah, so just a couple of things. One of them you already touched on, and that was dust control, whether it's calcium or water or a mix of the two. That'd be great. The other thing too is you mentioned that you're going to use triaxles.
Yep.
I guess the first question is, all that material in the big pile there from the site, or did you bring stuff in and process it?
So I brought that. That's all processed material. It's 1.5 inch process.
So you brought that in. That's not from the site. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. Now you're stuck with getting rid of it, right?
Well, actually, I got to supplement. Yeah. Well, naturally, I got to take out the unsuitable stuff and use that as the supplement.
Yeah. Do you know how many yards you have there?
Right now, there's about, if I'm calculating correctly, somewhere about 6,000 to 7,000 yards.
6,000 to 7,000 yards.
That's in the pile. That's what's in the pile. But that's not what's exporting. So that's because the parking lot area right now is a foot below its proposed subgrade for, binder install.
Right.
Fill out front, and there's also a fill along the retaining wall.
So you're also going to have a couple of hundred trucks coming in and out of there.
Correct.
Okay. And you mentioned triaxles. I think I would insist on a condition that it is nothing bigger than a triaxle, because trailer dumps will cause a hell of a problem with the traffic. That River Street's already really tight.
I agree with you.
And I think trying to pull out, it would be a nightmare. We've already seen some tractor trailers trying to back into the property across the street. You talked about the route where it's going. Obviously, you're going to be right out on 114. I'm presuming you're using the driveway on River Street to access the property. Is that right?
Yeah. So naturally, we're trying to avoid going across the property as much as possible, just because that's where the new leaching field is for the new property. So we're trying to do the least amount of impact to that field where there's no binder in place at this current time.
Okay. And if you were on the call a little while ago when we were talking to one of the other applicants about the time of operation. So we've seen that the traffic on River Street has increased markedly over the last couple of years.
Yep.
And so, and the intersection of River and 114 is especially problematic because the roadway is not wide enough. It's substandard, especially for people taking a left turn heading westbound on 114, making a left onto River Street. So, I mean, traffic is already a nightmare there, but I'm thinking that even more so during the peak hours. So you heard us talking earlier about, 7 to 9, 3 to 6. So, are you comfortable with restricting trucks coming in and out of there between 9 and 3 only?
Yeah, I mean, so it affects both in and out, like, so if they were exporting only, correct? If I had to bring in stone or something like that, does that affect me?
No, I think it's more the volume for me anyway. Again, I'm one member here. It's more the volume. If you're having a day where, you got the loader there and you're loading up stuff and you got a place to take it and these trucks are going to be coming in and out of there, I just wouldn't want a stream of trucks during the peak traffic hours. Again, someone's trying to get to work and, they're waiting for a triaxle to get out of the way so they can get through the intersection. You know what I mean?
Good, completely understood.
So yeah, I mean, if you have material coming in and it's staggered, that's one thing. But if it's a constant stream of equipment being loaded and taken off, again, just like your colleague up the street, I think we'd want to, at least I would want to see that the time that can't happen during the peak traffic hours, which is 7 to 9 and 3 to 6. So essentially we're looking at that block of time between 9 and 3.
Okay, that's
All
fair.
right. And that's all I have. Again, nice job on your narrative.
Thank you very much.
Any other board members have any questions? Concerns? I'm gonna shuffle some papers.
Just Todd, what's the time frame? How are you guys doing on your timetable there? Just out of curiosity.
As far as the project's concerned?
Yeah, just curious. It's been there for a long time. What's the?
To be truthful, it's going slow. It's obviously it's not because of me. It's all in the parties, the higher parties, but things are going in the right direction. But it just seems like once we gear up, we get a slowdown, and so we're trying. We're trying to make some other adjustments where the property owner starts to take a little bit more control versus the leasee. Or
You're working on the septic system now? Is that what you're doing?
yeah, so the septic's actually in. We completed it.
Oh, it is in.
Yeah,
Okay.
we completed it last fall. So now we're
Great.
trying to really like stabilize to the point where it's at its subgrade.
Subgrade now. Okay.
Yep.
And then you can start building. I
Correct.
assume.
Yep.
Okay. Thanks.
Any other questions, comments? Seeing none, I will say you did a very good job with the application.
Thank you, sir.
Makes it easier when you lay it out there. So what I'm gonna propose is that the board grant the special permit under section 3.2 to allow for the removal of earth from within the boundaries of the town. The hours of operation, Todd, what did you guys decide, 9 to 3?
Yes.
So just to be clear, this is for earth removal. So what trucks go in there? And this is specific to the trucks that are leaving town too. So I mean, if you got somebody coming in, dropping something off or picking something up, no one's chasing that. But if you got a big triax going out of town, 9 to 3 is the magic number.
Okay. Yeah, no, we'll be very respectful.
No, understood. You agree that there will be no vehicles on the property bigger than the triaxle removing the soil?
Correct. Triaxles only.
And no larger than. And
Correct.
Also, and the only routes that will be used will be Route 62 and 114. In addition to which, you can use River Street from your furthest most access point to 114 only,
Okay.
right? Because that's
Correct.
the extra spot.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
Could we also reference his, the conditions that he has provided in his narrative, that those conditions be followed as well?
Yes. Yeah. I just had one thought percolating. So that entrance and exit on River Street, can that be entrance only?
Yes.
And then that way you're only exiting onto 114?
Yeah, that's not a problem.
Oh. So Todd, I thought you couldn't go across the septic system with loaded trucks.
I'd prefer not to, but obviously I get it's more of a concern that in my eyes, and maybe I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, that
I'm not trying to increase any risk. I'm just asking from a flow standpoint, whether, because making that, I know you guys can start it from a soft enough angle to make that turn from River Street, onto River Street to head towards 114. I was just seeing if it made sense to do it the other way, to just have a singular flow, but it might be better. It might almost be better to be queued up in that traffic light.
So,
yeah.
Craig, one of the things I'm thinking about, if they were to exit on 114, which I think would be great also, but it would be to be right turn only.
Right. That's
so I would say that if you're heading out of town via 114 eastbound, yeah, go out onto 114. If you're gonna make a left to go westbound on 114, then you would utilize River Street. Because you'll never, if you try to come out of 114 to make a left to go westbound, you'll never make it. You have to cross 3 lanes of traffic, the center turn lane and 2 lanes of traffic.
I agree with you.
all right. So with the condition that the 114 access will be right turn only. Actually, they're both going to be right turn only. Both exits will be right turn only.
Right.
I mean,
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
All right, and I think that kind of alleviates a little bit of guys taking the wrong turn, hopefully, but and getting stuck in there or whatever. So, all right, we'll add that it can be used on 62 and 114 in that short stretch of River Street from the edge of the property to 114. Both exits will be right turn only. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
I'll second it.
And a vote, please.
Carolyn,
Yes.
Ann,
Yes.
Rich,
Yes.
Craig,
Yes, please.
and I'll vote yes.
Thanks, Todd.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Good luck.
All right, thank you. Have a good night.
The next item on the agenda is the continued public hearing. It's 15 Old Haswell Park. So this is a continued public hearing from last meeting. Since then, we have performed a site walk. Several of us were out there exploring the site, looking at the different sight lines. They had it staked out for us where the pool was going to be, and they were already working on the fence. They also had it staked out towards the rear of the property, which is one of the more unique parts of it. Matt, did you have anything else you wanted to add from our meeting or the site walk that we had last week?
No, I was just happy to meet you guys face to face. I know with Zoom and COVID, it changes things. So to have that personal experience with most of you was great to have.
Did any of the board members have any comments or questions, observations from the site walk or anything in the meantime? Hearing none. Okay, so it looks like there was a letter submitted, signed by several of the neighbors that was in support of the project. We don't have to read it, it's part of the record now, but essentially saying that they understand that the setbacks are and to protect the views, but they are in favor of it.
They get invited to the first pool party.
Absolutely. So do you. Why not? 2 days is the day. The restrictions are lifted, so might as well. I have to say, my 4-year-old thought that the 4 of you were going to install the pool that evening and was very disappointed when there wasn't a pool in the ground when you left. So,
We lack that the magic skill. That would be nice though.
Well, he's about 2 feet from me now, so he's eagerly anticipating this is my.
All right. Let me see. I'm going to propose that the board, I propose that the board make the following findings. That due to the unique shape of the lot, specifically the unique shape of the lot as outlined in particular by the, it's like 51-foot line north by east down to the other 50-foot line down there, that this unique shape is peculiar and unique to this particular lot in the zoning district. That due to those circumstances relating to those peculiarities, a literal enforcement of the bylaw would involve substantial hardship, financial or otherwise. Specifically in this case, they would need to relocate the entire septic system, leaching system, and reserve area as outlined on the plan. And that the variance requested may be granted without substantial detriment to the public good and without nullifying or substantially derogating from the intent or purpose of such bylaw. Do I have a motion to accept those findings?
I'll make that motion.
And is there a second?
I'll second.
And a vote?
Carolyn,
Yes.
Ann,
Yes.
Rich,
Yes.
Craig,
Yes.
I'll vote yes.
Based on those findings, I will propose that the board move to grant the variance to allow for the installation of an in-ground pool 20.2 feet from the side and 19.1 feet from the rear lot line as laid out on the plan of land of Middleton, Mass, prepared by Hayes Engineering, dated November 11th, 2020. Do I have a motion?
Make that motion.
And a second?
I'll second.
And a vote?
Carolyn,
Yes.
Ann,
Yes.
Rich,
Yes.
Craig,
Yes.
and I'll vote yes.
Good luck, guys.
Great, appreciate it. Thank you, everyone.
Have a good night.
As well.
Enjoy. All right, we have some new and other business to discuss. No, I have nothing.
Move to adjourn.
Motion, so moved. Is there a vote? Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
Yes.